Happy New Year, everyone! Wish you a safe, healthy, and abundant 2022. Recently, the Chinese government's mouthpiece People's Daily published 2 opinion pieces that have drawn a lot of speculation and imagination from outside of the wall. These 2 articles are completely contradicting each other, showing there are different messaging from the very top. Some people think that the 2 articles are a sign showing the top dog, Xi Jinping, is losing his grip. You may know that the Chinese Communist Party always runs things behind the scenes, particularly for its own internal power struggles. No one from the outside world knows what exactly is going on within the party. But one thing most people might be able to get from these 2 contradictory articles is that the Chinese adaptation of the political TV drama House of Cards might have just started. Some people may think these are just 2 articles. What's all the fuss about? Well, under the Communist China, the role of the media is not just about propaganda. It is also a way for the party members to send discreet messages to each other. Today, we'll go through that and analyze the 2 articles mentioned above. Welcome to Beyond the News. I'm Faye. In China, the role of the media is not just to brainwash people, it is also a way for the Chinese Communist Party members to send secret messages to others. You can look at the Chinese Communist Party as a mafia gang. We know that in the mafia, in order to communicate in a discreet way, the members usually use coded language when communicating in the open. So when the 2 mafia members talk to each other in a sensitive manners, it seems like they are having a normal conversation, but in reality, they are speaking in a coded way. Now that the Chinese Communist Party is using similar tactics via the media, and they use the media to hide its underlying messages in plain sight. For example, when the Chinese media started to push the message of harmonious society, for normal Chinese people, they might be thinking the government is going to make our community better. But for those higher up Chinese Communist Party members who understand the code in the message, they're seeing a different picture. Now that the government wants to keep things harmonious, that means they will be persecuting any protesters more harshly, or anyone who is saying anything inharmoniously. So apart from sending out secret messages to party members, another kind of the hidden message is to show who is in real power. Let's take China's most watched TV program, News Simulcast, as an example. It is a daily news program provided by the Chinese government mouthpiece CCTV. The program is notorious for its blatant propaganda even in China. There was a running joke. The only truth in this program is its time and date. This creates an interesting phenomenon. A lot of people aren't watching this program for the news, but just to see who was in the camera focus. Even though the program is full of propaganda and fake news, it is a small window into the Chinese Communist Party's infighting. For example, what's the number of seconds the camera is on a certain government official? How a certain meeting was described? All of these were signs of the political situation in China. Let's take a recent example. Back in mid-December, Xi's wife, Peng Liyuan, was participating in an event. And in the news reporting, the camera stayed on Peng for 6 to 7 seconds. The length of time the camera stays on a certain person is directly related to how powerful he or she is within the Chinese Communist Party. The fact that the camera focused 6 to 7 seconds on Xi's wife has been generating a lot of speculation. One is that she is gaining more power compared to before. I think for these examples, you can see the other phases of the Chinese media. Apart from brainwashing the public, they are also for delivering underlying or secret messages. After this long explanation, let's now talk about the opinion pieces on the People's Daily. The so-called People's Daily is a CCP's official newspaper, and it provides direct information on the policies and viewpoints of the party. On the 9th of December, there was an article titled, "China's Economic Reform is a Great Awakening for the Party." For those who don't know, China's economic reform in the 1980s brought a partial capitalism in China. Before that, China's economy was destroyed by Mao's Cultural Revolution. And the main person behind the reform was Deng Xiaoping. We'll talk about him in a bit. The content of the article is kind of standard propaganda stuff. I will not bore you with that. But what got people talking is who was mentioned and not mentioned in the article. The article mentioned Xi's predecessor Hu Jintao once, Hu's predecessor Jiang Zemin once, and Deng for 8 times. However, the article didn't mention Xi at all, not even once. This opinion piece is strangely out of sync for a few reasons. I will mention 2 aspects here. First, and the most obvious one, is that this article dares not to mention Xi at all. If we look into the content of the article, it's discussing an in-depth study of the spirit of the 6th plenary session. We don't need to know much about the session, but the purpose is to establish Xi's authority so that he could make a 3rd term. Therefore, for the content-wise, if the author was truly studying the spirit of the session, how did he not mention Xi at all? And the second aspect is whom the article mentioned. As mentioned just now, quite a few former Chinese presidents were mentioned, especially Jiang Zemin. For people who have been watching our program for quite a while may know, China's former president Jiang Zemin is Xi's biggest political enemy. Xi's anti-corruption campaign was pretty much targeting his people. Therefore, an article came out praising Jiang but not Xi is surely weird. But that's not the end of it. A few days after the above-mentioned article was published, People's Daily published another opinion piece that was clearly used to counter the one. The new article also claimed to be study the spirit of the 6th plenary session, and it mentioned Xi 6 times, but made no mention of Jiang, Hu, or Deng. Both articles were published in the same paper, People's Daily, but with completely different tones. So everyone is wondering, what is going on there? Surely, we don't know what happened exactly, but we can be speculating, and there are 2 theories to this weird phenomenon. One, Xi is having less control in the party, and the article was signaling Xi's declined power to other party members. And second, which is the most likely one, is that the 2 contradictory articles in one same mouthpiece is a mere reflection of the political infighting within the party. Xi's opponent is downgrading Xi's power. That explains why the first piece does not mention Xi at all, and Xi's own gang is fighting back and promoting himself. That's the second published piece. Personally, I'm leaning more towards to the second one, but no matter which one you tend to think, we can say that they all reflect on one thing. Xi is not as powerful as he seems and still has quite an opposition in the party. So there might still be some uncertainties on whether Xi can have a 3rd term as a top dog in 2022. What is your take in this? Let me know in the comments below. The official meeting in deciding whether or not Xi will having a 3rd term is happening in the second half of the 2022, so there will definitely be more dramas in the month to come. Please sit back, have your popcorn ready. The Chinese season of House of Cards is about to get interesting. Make sure you subscribe to Beyond the News. Let's enjoy the stories beyond the news itself. Alright, that's all for today. If you like today's program, please like and subscribe. If you want to follow this season of House of Cards, please don't forget to turn on the notification. Thank you for watching Beyond the News. I'm Faye. I'll see you again very soon.